What up, everybody in YouTube world? Here's another video by Efi's Voice. Here I go with the video. Um, you could be a celebrity if you want to, or be famous or stuff like that, but there's nothing wrong with having a job. You could be famous, you could be a celebrity if you want to, but there's nothing wrong with having a job, a 9 to 5 or a 4 to 8 or whatever, not 4 to 8, a job, a 9 to 5 or any hours you work for your job. There's nothing wrong with having a job. There's nothing wrong with it. People, I mean, when you're young, you reach for you get filled with so much stuff that you sometimes overlook that and want to be too famous or stuff like that. Or reach for, there's nothing wrong with trying to attain dreams and be great, but being great can also mean having a 9 to 5, a job. So, but there's nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5. You can reach for the stars. You can try to be great. You can try to achieve your goals. You could try to be the best athlete. You could try to be the actor, a musician, a rapper, anything you want to do if you want to. There's nothing wrong with that. Let that be known. I'm saying there's nothing wrong with that. You can achieve. You can try to reach your goals. Not goals. You try to reach for the stars and be great if you want to. But with saying that, there's nothing wrong with having a job, a 9 to 5 or whatever hours you work. They don't have to be 9 to 5 hours, but 9 to 5 means a regular job. There's nothing wrong with having a job. People gotta realize being a celebrity, being famous is not all it's cracked up to be. It's the grass isn't always green on the other side. Certain things don't last forever. Sports only last until you're about the late 30s, early 40s. As other musicians and actors may have a long career. Musicians may have a long career, but musicians, rappers, or singers stuff, they may fade because your fan base grows, and stuff like that, ages. So just realize that you can be famous or celebrity, but there's nothing wrong with having a job, a 9 to 5. Don't ever think that there's something so wrong or you're a failure if you opted to, or the circumstances in your life led you to having a job. That can lead to stability. You can be comfortable and you can be perfectly happy. When you get older, you realize that you're happy, you have stability, and you got what you need in life, and that's all you need. So you can reach for the stars, be famous, be an athlete. If you That's good. If you want to be an athlete, be an athlete, be a musician, or an actor, a singer, or whatever, rapper or something. You could reach for that. There's nothing wrong with that. Do that if you want. Just realize it's not all it's cracked up to be. You know, part with sports, you could get injured. It only lasts till your late 30s, early 40s. Most sports. So what are you gonna do for the rest of your life? So either way, most athletes have to work something after they retire too. But as for musicians and actors usually have a long career if they get enough work. It can last through all your ages. It doesn't have an age limit. But musicians is different. For rappers, for singers, it may be cool when you're young. You may think it's the whole thing. There's nothing wrong with that when you're young, because your fan base is your peers are your age and they're young and stuff like that. And and whatever you're doing right now means the world to you, and that's cool. But your fan base ages too, for musicians and singers and rappers and all that stuff. When you're and your fan base ages, people are not always gonna see the way they see and think the way they think. People are gonna mature. People are gonna grow. 5 years from now they will think different and see different. 10 years from now they'll think different and see different. 15 years from now they'll think different and see different. 20 years from now they'll think different and see different. Your fan base isn't always gonna be so precocious, so young, and so that same age forever. Time does move on, and they will age and see things differently and grow. People outgrow people sometimes. You know, and for musicians, when your fan base grows, that grows your support. Not your support; they still support you, but you're not gonna be so. You may not be so popular. Like, you will be popular, but your fan base grows. So a lot of things change. People do this, that. People may recant the way they thought when they were younger. People may have an epiphany. People may have total change in direction in their life. So you may not have all the support throughout your career as if you're a musician or actor, a singer or rapper or something like that, because your fan base grows. Actors, you need a lot of work to get. If you get good enough work and you get paid well, then you can be a good actor. But a lot of actors, some don't get a lot of work all the time. Some people's careers never take off. It don't last after a while. Some stuff like that. So you could be a celebrity if you want, but just realize that there's nothing wrong with having a job. It's everything's not what it's cracked up to be. You can have a good amount when you get older. You're going to realize you want to have a stable source of income. You don't have to rely on the public for everything. You could have stability in a 9 to 5 or whatever hours you work. You can be happy. You're stable. You're content. You're stable, and you're happy. You have everything. You have your needs met, and there's a peace that comes with that. So you can be a celebrity if you want, but there's nothing wrong. Wait, hold on. You can be a celebrity if you want, but there's nothing wrong with having a job. A job can give you stability. When you're young, you may not want to work because you're going through a lot of stuff. You're going through a lot of stuff, and you don't get the big picture of life yet. So that's part of the. It's not that you don't want to work. You just want to get your mind right when you're younger, and part help and a lot of sports and celebrityness and musicians and stuff like that help get your mind right when you do that stuff. So part of the stuff why young people some people want to be famous or live the celebrity life when they're younger is because it helps them get their mind right. But when you get older and you have your mind right, you start to realize there's certain things you need and make in life and certain things you don't need and certain things really won't make you that better off or happier. If you have a job, you have a family, that's all you need, and that's what makes you happy. You have your house, you have your apartment, you have your job, your 9 to 5, or whatever hours you work, and that's what makes you happy, and you're glad and you're happy and content with that. That's all you need. After a while, when you get older, that you realize that's all you need. If you live that famous life, there's nothing wrong with it. And some people, it does take them off to new dimensions and make their life so much better, and that's great. But I just want to install in people that there's nothing wrong with having a job. There's nothing wrong with it. You're not a fool. You're not a failure. You're a success actually. You have a stability. You're taking care of your family or yourself. You have a roof over your head. You take care of your food, clothing, and shelter. You're taking care of yourself. You did what you did. You could go to school. School's a great accomplishment. You could go to college. You can get your education. You can find a trade. You do things to make your life better and educate yourself and get a skill. And you take care of yourself. Go to school, get a trade, get your education, do stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the right route, and a lot of people realize that you can get your education, you get a trade, and that helps you out in wonderful ways. I'm not saying education is a guarantee. Well, it helps you out. And it leads to a better life for you for most people. I'm not saying you have to earn $200,000 a year, but as long as you're stable and you can put food on your table, and a roof over your head, and clothes on your back, then that's all you need. I'm not saying that everybody won't go through trials and tribulations, have ups and downs and hard times, because even celebrities have that. But there's nothing wrong with having a job. So don't think you're such you're so unsuccessful when if the route life is bringing you makes you have a job. So there's people want to be an athlete. There's nothing wrong with that. That's cool. Sports is cool. If people want to be musicians, actors, rappers, there's nothing wrong with that. But it ain't always cracked up to be. You're relying on the public for your support. Sports only lasts for so many years. But the other forms, musicians, actors, rappers, and stuff like that, you're really relying on the public to keep you relevant, and that can be a drain, and that can be a drain because your fan base ages every year, and people grow, and people change. You can't rely on everybody to like you the same way they liked you when you were young all the time. So people move on, people see things differently, people don't like certain things anymore. So you can be a celebrity, but there's nothing wrong with having a job. You have a stability, you're comfortable, you're content, you take care of yourself, and that's enough that you need in life. So that's what this video is about. You can be a celebrity, but there's nothing wrong with having a job. So just realize that, and just realize that. Peace.